She explained everything, especially what was referring to
stand in front, see where the mic is.
Yeah.
You ain't got to look down or nothing, just pull it forward and then explain about the dominant society.
Yeah, so
Content over everything!
for me, again, coming from personal experience, I went through the primary school system, the comprehensive school system, but I think the fact that my mother had her parents were from mixed class, so her mother was working class, but her father was public school educated. So I think she had aspirations because she admired her father for me to experience that. So even though I came from, my father was an agricultural worker initially, and we had went to comprehensive. They saved money so that we could, myself and my sister, go to public school. So I experienced that from the age of 15, 16 to 18. And I saw the culture. I experienced the culture, and I saw that the boys going through that culture were highly competitive, and I kind of was able to view it in a detached way because at the age of 15, 16, I got my own room, so I wasn't exposed to the dormitory system where 6 to 8 boys would all be in one room together. The bond that created, but also I could see the competitivity that was absent in the comprehensive school that I was at, and then through study, just aware of that public school system created the old school tie system. But also I was aware that there were some students in that public school that were from Africa, and that they were from the ruling classes in Africa, and so that's where that.
What he's saying is that they're conditioned in running in the streets in the private schools.
Yeah.
The way that they survive society.
Yeah, to be competitive, but also to have those connections in England, which facilitated that exchange.
Why do you think? What do you think? Like I was asking earlier, what do you think we can do? This majority can do.
Yeah.
To change the way the system run.
Yeah.
What's the best harm to take to make it work better for the majority? Right now, people now trying to elect themselves in the 70s.
Yeah. So I've been involved in rainbow gatherings for quite some time. Before that, I was involved in going back to the land projects. I was working voluntarily on organic land projects. But then that took me to rainbow gatherings, which is all about getting back to nature and using talking stick so that everyone can speak within the community about how they feel or what they feel needs to be done within the community. And the rainbow gatherings have been responsible for the green movement, if you like, so green festivals in the UK. So there's Glastonbury, which everyone knows about, but subsequent to that, there are now 900, they say, small festivals up and down the UK, and I see them as in direct competition to the agricultural shows. So the agricultural shows are a kind of
it's been 20 years to think.
Yes. And they want to give him another fight.
Yeah, so the agricultural shows are kind of the leftover, the hangover of what was a...
You know what, yeah, you can stand more centre.
Yeah. So...
You know what, yeah, act like you're talking to the camera.
Okay, so the... Yeah. So the agricultural shows are the leftover of what used to be a vibrant, dominant, aristocratic class. So, and they're not really all that popular. I mean, compared to festivals, festivals are very popular with young people, and there are 900 of them, they say, up and down the country now. So for me, there's this possibility for a paradigmatic exchange, because the festivals are talking about permaculture, they're talking about no-dig method, they're talking about alternative means of land usage, whereas the agricultural festivals are talking about ploughing up the land, digging up the land. They've got the old, you'll see dog shows, dog training shows, the old dogs of war. They have horse, old horse show, which is nothing to do with what we've got now, the tractors, but they still show the old horses, how they can work them, or dressage, show jumping or whatever, getting horses to jump, or they'll have birds of prey, all this old anachronistic history. So for me, the Green Festivals represent a renaissance of how we can reclaim the land. So I remember being with the Rastas in 2006, because the European Rainbow Gathering was coming to England in 2006, and I ended up with down in Kennington, where the Rasta mains were, where most of the and reasoning with the Rastas, they were talking. I was saying, about the rainbow, the potential for reclaiming the land, and a lot of the Rastas were talking about, well, this isn't our land, we want Africa, not England. This isn't our land. But I was trying to get across, well, the rainbow, it has a prophecy, and it's about the prophecy. We don't have scripture, we don't have a prophet, but we've got a prophecy in the rainbow culture, which states, in a time when the animals are dying and the land has been ravaged, come forth the rainbow warriors from all cultures and creeds, from the oppressed and the dispossessed, and through their actions and deeds will turn the land green again. And so it's all cultures and creeds. The rainbow warriors will come from all cultures and creeds. So I was looking to advocate to the Rasta elders that we should come together in this country to help reclaim the land in this country, and that actually that can then open up the doors for the reclamation of African countries. So, and that's still my message to this day. I still do rainbow gatherings to this day, and that would be my solution. In response to your question, coming together, all cultures and creeds, in London, but in the UK, to reclaim the land here, because we are here as a stepping stone to reclaiming all land around the world.
When you were talking about the dominant, how do you think the dominants are? How are they holding their power? How have they got the power?
Because they're in control of. First of all, they were and still are in control of the land, but they're also crucially in control of media and finances. But the rainbow gathering works on donation, and ultimately it wouldn't even need that donation, because the donation is for buying food. But if we have growing communities which are willing to provide food free of charge for the rainbow gatherings, then we don't even need the financial institution of what we call the magic hat. We wouldn't need it, because we'd have a supportive community who allows gatherings to happen without any money whatsoever on the land. And we can talk about, what we can do on that land, like the no-dig method doesn't require the plough, it doesn't require water. Like even the National Trust, which is a very conservative body, are adopting no-dig methods, because last summer no dig at a place called Sissinghurst in Sussex didn't require any water.
Is there, with people living in a sustainable level, nothing like you say, no dig, would there still be enough food and whatever to feed the population? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, well,
would there be people still be living homeless and there's people still be dying?
this no dig on an acre and a half of land produced 6.6 tons of food, and in the slaughterhouse. I stand outside the slaughterhouse in Sussex and talk to the farmers who are coming in with their animals, and they say we can't grow vegetables here because the land's too hilly and too heavy clay. What they mean is they can't get their ploughs on the land. But those same people, they're getting maybe 300-400 kilograms of meat compared to 6.6 tons of fruit and vegetables that they're getting on the same terrain. So we can provide abundance. The fact is, we're not providing what we need in food because we've got more livestock than any other country in Europe.
We have what we want rather than what we need.
Well, yeah, we've got 130 million chickens, we've got 30 million sheep, we've got something like 15 million cows, a huge amount of pigs, and a lot of that's for export. So we're not. It's a very inefficient system feeding animals to provide food. I mean, a dairy cow eats 50 kilograms of food every day. A huge amount compared to what it gives back. So it's highly inefficient, and we're only producing 60% of the food in this country that we're eating in what should be a hugely abundant community. And the other thing is we're importing loads of food also from other countries to feed those animals. So I did my dissertation on soybean production in the Brazilian basin. I was there in 1993, and most of that soybean was destined for Western markets for animals. And I was working with a human rights lawyer in Brazil who was taking me to the shanty towns and showing how people had been displaced because of this monoculture, and then were squatting on the periphery of cities and were subject to abuse from landowners, police, through no fault of their own. Mostly very vulnerable because the men would be away trying to find work at quite some distance, and the older children would be in the city centre trying to make some money. And it would just be like, in the newly occupied places, it would be predominantly mothers and the younger children. So that's the knock-on effect of people eating cheap meat over here. Displaced people as well as devastation in the Yangtze Basin.
On a highly based in this society.
Yeah, because from what I believe.
Do you think are you against all capitalism, or are you just against being over capitalist?
Well, I think, I believe that. I believe that the capitalism came with herds people, with the domestication of animals, and that also came with the domestication of people and servitude. So I believe it's deeply ingrained. They say that that the herds people came out of Europe and went down the Nile and went into the Indus Valley, and you can check that by where people consume milk. Because when you controlled herds, then you can take milk from those animals, and obviously the animals are easier to kill, so you're going to have a greater consumption of meat than a hunter-gatherer would, because it's easy. So yeah, from my perspective, the rainbow is pointing towards a wilder connection with nature, and a return to foraging and to a different way about agriculture, which respects the soil, like the no-dig method does, which respects diversity. You have forest gardens, that kind of thing. Yeah.
It's a silly argument, fam. It's silly, bro. Because Israelites don't do research.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, no.
Cook Israelites again.
This tribe. Tell us this tribe. Hey, tell us this tribe. Hey, tell us this tribe.
You're lucky, fam.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Watch, we're coming for you.
Come online. Where is he?
Yeah, we're coming for you.
Come online, blood.
I'm coming for you, bro.
Flies, doo-doo.
Come take over everything from your melody.
Come, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen. Just a boss, yeah? Yow. Man, don't listen to ITV.
Hey,
I'm black. Bring it.
I want to say, big up the Funky family. Gamma Funky. Gamma Funky in the building. What else? Big on Funky. Venom Funky. Alpha Funky.
You know, if you
Omega Funky.